Hello, good morning. It is Kevin, and today is Sunday, the 7th of February 2021, and this is your morning message and meditation. I hope you're well and you slept. I feel rested today after my marathon move. Um, and yesterday I had a glorious day in my new space, and I promise I will. Well, I might even go live from there at some point. I don't know about 5:30 in the morning, but who knows? Just so that you can get a feel of the space, and that's what I was going to say. Well, that's what the premise of today's message is. Um, I feel like I'm talking in an echo chamber. I've got my lovely crystal base chakra C singing bowl here that I'm going to share with you. And what's interesting is that the energy, and that's what I was going to talk about, the energy that's going in around this bowl is making the kind of like this. Oh, there it goes, making this sort of harmonic sound that I can hear. Um, what else happened yesterday? Lots happened yesterday. I'm nodding my head like no, but yes, lots happened yesterday. I finally used up the last of the coffee grounds in my saving canister. Um, I know that they will be repurposed for something. They're the ones that are stainless steel on the outside. They have like this plunger inside that keeps everything in it fresh. Um, Interesting concept. I got it from a company called Grounds for Hounds. They are located in Chicago, and what they do is you buy your coffee from them. They roast their own coffee, and they donate a portion of their profits to all the organizations that help with animal shelters, homeless animals. There's a YouTube video somewhere on their whole organization, or at least their philanthropic organization. Um, so that's where I bought these sealing canisters from, along with a little extra gift, I suppose. So I did move on to cup of tea. In England, where I'm from, they call this builder's tea. Um, Basically, tea bags in a pot. Now, for me, I like to add a bit of flavour to it, so I put some aniseed in it. I like star anise, but you have a challenging time finding it, which is fine. I can use aniseed. I go to the Whole Foods market and there it is. It's a bit of a pain when you're trying to recycle and tap all those little seeds out, but hey, listen, life's not meant to be smooth sailing. We have to do the work. And then I drop in a few cloves of um, cloves just to give it a bit of spice. I think I got a little bit turned on to the taste of chai, which is just a mix of spices with black tea. Um, and then what I'm noticing is, you know, some of the places that make those chai tea latte things that you get, it's not the same. It's just not right. I don't know. It doesn't taste right for me. Not knocking them. I don't want the coffee police coming after me. But there you go. Anyway, on to more news. What is more news? I think I told you yesterday that I went ahead and signed up for Carl Gray's angel certification course, and in it, if you sign up before the 8th, there's a 300, if you're in the US, dollar discount off the course. There's a lot that goes with it, and in part of the bonus is you know, a network on the Facebook platform to join other folks that feel the same way or want to share their experiences. And for me, what I've noticed is people are coming out of the shadows, um, not frightened to share their experience or share what they, not just in that Facebook group, which I just signed up for yesterday. So I haven't gone in yet and seen whether or not I've been accepted, which I can't understand why I wouldn't be, but there you go. But folks are willing to share their experience of spirit world. So that gives me clarity, because at first I had hope, and now I've got clarity that, oh yeah, this is where we're all heading for. We're going down this aisle of peace, harmony, joy. And that leads me to today's message that I wanted to share. The word learning equals student and teacher being one together. Learning equals student and teacher being one together. So when you're looking to learn something, you need a teacher. And there's always been this lovely famous quote that when the student's ready, the teacher appears. That's certainly been my case. I've not always known it or recognized it, that when I needed to learn something, it may have been a book on the shelf that's been sitting there all the time and I didn't pay attention to it. And then I paid attention to it and then I want to shout it to the rooftops. Or it could be simply that I have a question in my head, in my body, in my soul, and I'll go by a billboard and here's the answer on the billboard. Little things like that, which I was so grateful to learn that Kyle Gray talks about the messages that we get all along the life, that we don't really pay attention to where it's coming from. We just know it's there. Again, this human form, because I still have believed for decades that I'm actually part of the spirit world in here having a human experience, which is really why some folks have so many challenges. Yesterday, one of my clients who sat in the chair, young fellow, first year in college, struggling a little bit, and I could feel it. Not that he was saying anything, not sharing anything, not opening himself up to anything, but in this lovely little room I've now created with this gorgeous light that lets me see the trees and the birds and things I didn't see when I was in the other space. And I suddenly asked, I said, won't say his name, how are you doing? How's everything going? Just felt like I needed to ask. And he shared that it's a struggle. What particularly are you struggling with? And he shared certain classes. Okay, what seems to be the struggle? Is it a struggle, or is it the fact that you feel like people don't get you? And then I could feel it in him. He said, well, I don't think they understand me. So it's all right. You don't have to explain to me. I have the same issue. I openly share that I dropped out of high school. Not dropped out. I mean, in England, you just get on a bus and go home. There's no big walk across the stage with a hat and a gown on. Well, at least for me, it wasn't. 1970, whatever. I can't remember, 78, 79, whatever. At the end of the day, you got on the bus, you went on home, and that was it, done. You don't go back to school on Monday. I'm an audio-visual learner. I have to hear it, I have to see it, I have to watch it for me to get it. Does that make that a wrong way of learning? No, it just means that's the way I learn. And that's what I shared with this young man. He said, you're young and there are folks that want the best for you. They love you and they want the best for you. And it seems like they might be coming down on you, making you feel a little less important or less smart. And said, but you're feeling less smart and you're feeling less important. You're never less. And what I shared with him was, sometimes the most challenging of students become the best teachers, because through the challenge of learning, oh, and I got goosebumps. That's my indication right down over here. I got it. It feels like, oh, it's so lovely when I get this feeling that there's an angel or a spirit. I'm going to go with the gut feeling, say it's an angel. It feels like a lovely, when somebody puts their hand on your back and you just feel that, that little soft, that they're there, that they're there and they get you, especially sometimes when we get caught up in our own silliness, and we're having a moment like I did on Wednesday night. And my good friend Maggie said, breathe, Kevin, just breathe. Just breathe and chill. I turned into a little bit of a monster that night trying to put things together. I'm sorry, but I did. Anyway, what I had shared with this young gentleman was that, sometimes the most patient of student that goes through the worst of challenges become the best teachers because they get it, they understand it. And I think the young man, I can't say boy, left feeling a little bit more, oh, yeah, I got this, confident. That's the challenge. When I was in school, the teacher was not clever enough to meet all the students where they were at. They saw the students that were getting it, that were following it, that were snapping and clicking and moving ahead. They were not seeing the students that fell off the edge. And that, when I became a teacher and stepped up and said, I'd like to teach, or somebody said, you should teach, and I looked at them, and that was my recollection. The only thing I know about teachers is if you ain't getting it, you pushed off the side. And that really has been the situation that we found ourselves in for a long time. Where there's students in classrooms that we don't know what they're going through, what their story is, how they're feeling about learning. We have this expectation as grown-ups that, you know, the child's going to be an A this and a 4.0 that and a somebody else. Well, that's just a label. That does not tell you who that person is and what they're about. And honestly, hand on heart, both hands on heart, eyes to God, it's time that we woke up and said, we've got to do something for these young folks somehow, some way. Now, I'm not suggesting I go start teaching Pythagoras or any of those things. I wouldn't know where to start. But everywhere we look, we find somebody, a young person, who would like to know where to go, how to get there, what to do, what not to do. And it's up to us not to tell them, but to say, well, what would you like? Sit them down, listen. That's the whole big thing I get from people. Nobody listens. Nobody sits down and listens. Tell me what's on your mind. Let's have a cup of tea and a chat. Yeah. So, other big news, and we better get going. And I'll read my daily thing, and I'll cling clang on this if it doesn't hurt your ears. And I'll get to it. If you'd like to join the Hay House or Kyle Gray's Certified Angel course, it's self-guided. There are some amazing webinars that he's done that, truthfully, hand on heart, if this was a load of codswallop rubbish, I'd be telling you. I'm not frightened of shying away from, no, that didn't work for me. I won't go into details about why it doesn't work. I'll just say that didn't work for me. But I can say the first one, there were three or four bonus webinars that you listened to that were lovely. And the first one was about how we're waking up to who our guardian angel is. Now, the lovely part about it, because I can hear my angel saying, you better tell them why it's lovely. Or is that, no, that's Granny. The lovely part about it was it's audio, so there's no looking at anything. And when I'm listening, I'm noticing, it's like reading a book. You read the words on the page and an image forms in your head, and you're seeing what that author has written. I'm hearing quickly what Mr. Gray was sharing in my head. And there are some lovely, very powerful exercises, feet flat on the floor, where you get to embrace and meet this long lost soul, guide, angel that has been just as curious about you as you are about them. And that was just in the first one. So I can't imagine what it's going to be like going through the others. I found my own learning, it's not necessary to look at how high the mountain is, but more or less take one step at a time, keep climbing. That's my fantastic way I've got to the end, because we're never finished. There's never a place to get to. There's never, well, when I get here, I'm going to do this. No, you just go on the flow and keep rolling. With that said, I'm going to take another sip of my builder's tea. And we're going to go do the shuffling of the cards. I think first of all, and this is For those of you who don't know, might be joining me for the first time. Oh, excuse me. These are Kyle Gray's latest Angel Guide Oracle cards. Hay House, that's where you get everything. I mean, really, truly, just go on there, hayhouse.com. It's like a spiritual department store. There's nothing, I mean, you find something for everything on there. Let's just do a quick prayer to set the mood. Just close your eyes and drop in. And you can either in your head just follow along or repeat after me. Archangel Michael, thank you for cutting the unnecessary cords that bind me to people, places, situations, stories, drama, and anything that no longer serves my purpose and that I no longer need. And I thank you for cutting those binds and cords right now. I declare that I am safe and I am free. I am the keeper of my mind, my heart, my soul, and my body. Wherever light, love is present, fear and darkness are strangers. Love and light and all things good for all good people and all people everywhere are here. I'm willing to listen and to receive and to share. And so it is. And there you go. Simple, easy. And that's what I think drew me to this work, because it's done for you. What I think that turned me really onto following more of Mr. Gray's message is, I feel like calling him Mr. Gray because he's a young fellow, but to me it feels like he was placed here for a reason. And it's a bit like looking at a master person who's accomplished much. Where can you find that? Megan says. Okay. KyleGray.uk is on Instagram. KyleGray.uk. And there's a Facebook page. This is one of the images he has on the Instagram page. And when you click on it, this is one of the cards in this deck. When you click on it, the prayer goes with it. What I just did is created a Word document, blocked it in to print it out. There are lots of YouTube videos that Kyle does, but this course, it's for everybody. I was about to share what turned me on to Mr. Gray's work was that one of the first things he said, which is paramount, is that we're all equal. There's nobody above or below anyone else. That the source energy that we get, the information that we get, what we're open to receive, what we're open to give, what we're open to share, is all available to everybody all the time. We have become this culture that has seen people for being above others. I've heard it referred to as elitist mentality, and I want to equate that to a spiritual undertow. You know, when you go to the beach, they tell you not to swim in certain waters because you can get pulled out into the undertow. This elitism, this feeling of I am some whatever, is that undertow. And for the most vulnerable, the most insecure, the people that are looking for someone to listen to them, that's a dangerous place to go spiritually swimming, because it can pull you into something. Now, I'm certainly not suggesting any one particular person. I don't have any in mind. I don't. It just is what it is. But I have learned through my own experiences that, wow, there are things that, okay, you can tell when you're tapped in. What is it that Esther Hicks says? Tapped in, tuned in, and turned on to vibrational energy from source. You get a very quick whiff of, yeah, no, that's not so much. I'm just sharing my reason for feeling the vibe and feeling the pull and feeling the energy from Mr. Gray's work as opposed to anyone else. Now, that's not to say other people wouldn't inspire me. Be inspired by people to give you the empowerment to move forward. Comparing yourself or putting somebody on an unnecessary pedestal is actually not the way forward. Yes, there are inspirational folks who are here to teach us, but like I said in this whole message, the student and the teacher are one thing. The student isn't anything without the teacher, and more importantly, the teacher would be nowhere without a student to teach. And if you're stepping up saying, I'd like to teach, which you should if you've got something from anything, whether you've taught someone how to cook or taught someone how to sew, you taught them something. Everything we learn is given to us by somewhere else or something else. And if we got it and we learned it, that's our job to share it to other people. That is what I believe my purpose is. I can't say you. I'm speaking for me. All right. We really do have to get on with this. I'm going to shuffle in front of you. I'm going to give this fabulous big bowl, if I can lift it. It's 14 inches across. They made this somewhere. It's not one of those natural, lovely crystal bowls, but I like the fact that it was bright red, had my name on it, and somehow, over the holidays, I don't quite know how, it ended up with glitter on the inside. And I don't know about you, but I'm sorry. I'm a sucker for a bit of sparkle. I have some t-shirts somewhere that says sparkle and glow on the back. Just a bit of silliness. My candle's burning. I'm going to put it there because if I don't, I'm going to forget it. And I don't want to come home to ashes. There we go. So just give it a little tap. And then with this thing, you just run it around the sides. You get the feeling that, it's probably not translating. As I said before, everything vibrates. This helps to tune in. I'm just going to shuffle in front of you. And we've talked about cards that pop out. That becomes the message. And, oh. Well, I don't know. Well, this is divine timing, so I'm going to use that as one. It felt... And let's just go with... So now as I'm shuffling this... oh, there it goes. There it popped out. Oh. You shuffle and they just pop. They just flip. Now, it did take a while for that to happen because at first, these, you know, because of the fact of what they're made of and the coating, they're a bit stiff. And I think like anything else, those of you that are in sports, play tennis or baseball, basketball, you know, the gloves, the racket, the shoes, the clothes, they all have to be worked in. And no lie, this is do the work. This is step up to the plate. The angel's saying, you are being called to go forward and do your thing. Now, in the beginning, I thought that that was for just me. Like I've said before. Oh, this feels like it's just a personal little reading. And then I'm like, yeah, no. I'm going to share this because if you're on it, I'm on it, and this stuff's coming from Source Energy. Well, listen, this is our job to share this stuff. Then we have divine timing. Now, I'm going to be honest and truthful. My own interpretation of this when I'm looking at the cards, and usually I take a picture of it, but I didn't this morning. I wanted to give you the organic version of shuffling and what happens just organically. The first thing that strikes me about this card is all the fantastic colors, and the clarity of it. Jennifer Hawkyard is the illustrator. She has an Etsy store and a website. Just look up for Jennifer Hawkyard and you'll find it. Fantastic images. When I'm looking at this image, I'm seeing an Indian, but it's really lovely because they're like I don't get a sense that this image is any one particular ethnicity. It's just, oh, this is a fantastic energy, and the colors, and then there's feathers in there, and there's all sorts of amazing design, and this is then what pops in. Like I start looking at it and diving on into the different layers of this image, and the message just pops in. So divine timing, don't rush the process. And no coincidence I got through saying this is not deciding how high the mountain is or how long it's going to take you to get to the top. This is just taking one step at a time and enjoying the view while you go. And that's part of doing the work. Work is only laborious if you choose it to be laborious. If you're choosing a work of hard labor, drudgery, blah, you're choosing that's what will show up. But if you're doing the work that you love to do, you're doing the work that you care about doing, it's the work. Do the work. I'm going to read the message that goes with this divine timing card, because I'm not familiar with what Carl, Mr. Gray, the author, says about it. And that's part of my journey. Like, okay, well, I'll share the fact that I'm still learning. The message: life is always unfolding in the perfect time and space sequence. So, angel wisdom is encouraging you to move into a state of trust, knowing that good things are always unfolding for you. You may find yourself feeling impatient and unsettled, but instead of letting your ego and imagination pull you into a downward spiral, trust that your prayers are being answered and your plans are coming to fruition in a way that is meeting your needs rather than your wants. We already have what we need. We really do. It's all here. If you think you don't get what you need, you will. You do. You have it. It's all right inside you. You came into the world with it. You may feel that your prayers aren't being answered or that your hopes aren't being realized, but you must know that the universe and your angels are always working towards the highest good and the outcome that will best serve you. When this card appears, trust in the process. This is the piece of this that I love about these oracle cards. The extended message, the backward piece of it. Like, oh, all right. The backward piece of it is almost like, well, those of you that are old enough to remember single 45 RPM vinyl records, that would be me. There was always a B-side, and I love this about these because this is like the B-side. This card is a sign that your hopes and dreams are unfolding. You may not think so, but you need to remember that you might be working to human time, whereas God is always working on soul time, which can never be measured or rushed. You are being guided to know that your angel team is with you right now, encouraging you to call in support of angels in heaven, aligning with your current situation, always with love. Imagine yourself and your situation covered in golden light and ask angels to show you the way forward, knowing that you're always working for your highest good. So if I had to say in an interpretation where these cards, if I was doing a reading for somebody right now and these two popped up, I feel like there should be a third saying where we're going, but for today I'll just work with this thing together. I'd say that anyone who's doubting whether or not they're doing what they're supposed to be doing and on the path they're meant to be on, these two are saying yes, and just keep doing the work. And know you've got what you need, and what you, as you move forward, what you need to acquire is going to be provided. You know, we've got to get out of this idea that we're supposed to have everything before we start a project. That's also human. You're going to go learn a class. Here's your list of requirements, right? I've seen that a lot with parents that share with me what their student needs. And I'm thinking, why do they need this? What's that for? Thinking back to my mum, bless her. She's still with us. She's with my dad over in England. I love those two people so much. They just make me giggle and titter, and just two lovely, crazy old folks. I shouldn't be so disrespectful because I'm going to get there soon. Anyway, I could just imagine my mum getting a list like this from the school, and she'd go off like, where do they suppose I'm going to get all this? And why do I need all this? My point being, what you need, you already have. What you want will be provided for you. Just let that go. Let go of the idea that you don't have, that you're not enough. That's all poverty thinking. And we have to think more about, we got what we need. We're good to go. All right. I think we need to start meditating. Really, truly. Yeah. I'm debating whether to read today's message from Melody Beatty, but no, I'm being told that we should get to the meditation right now. So, ground yourself, feet flat on the floor. For today, you can choose to bring your hands down, palms facing up in receiving, palms facing down into just going inward. That really is a personal choice. I like to take my glasses off because I like my third eye center, for whatever reason, to be nice and open. And it feels natural for my hands to be just cradled like this. You know, I've got to say, there's no right or wrong. There just is where you are, where you find yourself. Let your eyes drop down. Take a big breath in. As you release, think of releasing all the pockets of energy that live in the tiniest places inside your body that you're just letting go of. Take another breath in and be conscious of where that air is going. Release and let go on your exhale. Third and last breath in. Hold it. Lift the vibration, hold it some more. Keep holding the breath in. Send it to every nook and cranny you've got in the trillions of cells that you have in your body right now. Then release. Bring your attention to your breath. Know that your breath is an extension of your central nervous system. Breathing in deep is the fuel that relaxes the jittery mind. It oxygenates the blood that travels around the body. The air you breathe in stimulates your consciousness. Both of human consciousness and the higher consciousness are being nurtured, fed, and energized with every inhale breath. Every exhale removes, releases, lets go of, and clears out what has already been used up. The ebb and the flow of breath is the necessary life force for human existence. Bring your mind's awareness to the soles of your feet. Imagine, if you will, that the surface of the skin and the soles of your feet have magnetic energy that are connecting you to the surface of the earth, the subsurface of the earth, the substrata and layers of the earth. Think of your feet and any place on your physical body that is connecting you to the physical space. With every exhale, send the used energy, used thoughts, unwanted vibrations and unnecessary things, worry, anxiety, negative feelings and emotions, send all of that down through into the core of the earth to be transformed. Lift your mind and consciousness to your heart, the area of the center of your being. Think of the bones that are your rib cage being a delicate pattern, divinely created to hold your heart and your lungs and all the vital organs that give you human life. And consider inside this container, rib container, is your own personal eternal flame that has been with you through this life and lives before this. This light is yours. This energy is yours, into which and from which all things flow. This is your beacon. This is the energy center, what attracts you to people, places. Fill this area using your breath with the brightest light, the greatest energy you can possibly think of. Allow this light, your beacon, to expand into the upper register of your chest, and using your breath, the ebb and flow of your breath, lift it up and beyond the top of your head, up through the clouds, and continue seeing the beacon that is yours, your personal searchlight, your personal energy light, rising beyond what your mind and your consciousness can possibly see. You are now connected to source energy as you have always been. Right now, at this given moment, you are consciously connected to your source energy, your vibrational energy. Allow this experience of guided meditation to create the vortex, the bridge known as you, to download and integrate the divine energy from source. Trust that this energy comes from a divine space, a divine place. Trust and be open to receive. Be open to listen. To the energy of the universe through your eternal flame of intuition. Know and receive that all goodness is before you, around you, above you and below you. And continue breathing in this energy of light, this energy of love, this energy of goodness. Continue breathing your breath, being open to receive. And open to feel supported. When you feel complete, ready, bring your hands to prayer and heart center. It's a way to acknowledge and honor yourself for practicing. I'll close with a prayer. Angels, thank you for coming. Thank you for being here. Thank you for all the behind the scenes, conscious and unconscious, that you do on my behalf. With love, with light, with gratitude. So it is. And then lift your thumb to your third eye center. Let's honor the world with peace, love, harmony, gratitude, all of those things as we bow. Namaste. Thank you so much for that and being here with me this morning. You know, it goes without saying, if you've got something from this, if you think there's a message out there that can be shared with other people, choose to personally share it from your heart to theirs is the best way to do it. Or if you feel uncomfortable or unsure, or then, you know, they're welcome to come and learn from this YouTube. You know, I should probably add on a like and subscribe and all that thing, but for me, it's not necessarily so important to gather up subscribers. Yes, it's lovely to say I've got 4.2 million people, but that's not the goal. The goal is to share a little light with everybody and to channel what I can when I can. And those who see it, receive it, are meant to, and they're grateful to it. It isn't about me digging into ego. There was part of that at some point. There was that undertow that I felt like I didn't exist or I wasn't important unless I had this audience. And I've heard it said. I've heard many folks that are in the entertainment business where their agent will say, how big is your audience? You know, that's kind of, wow, okay. I mean, I don't know what to say about that, because I feel like we get information from all kinds of places. It isn't about how, oh, here's that word, popular. We're all popular. If you don't see yourself as being popular, then there's some work to do. All right. I love you, really, truly, and for being here. You light me up every day. Have a great Sunday, and I'll see you here tomorrow morning, 5:30. Bye.